Investigators say Richard Gore damaged his GPS tracking device, kidnapped a woman from a home in Little River, South Carolina by gunpoint, and raped and assaulted her at his home in Ash. Cummings says her neighbor had no right to shoot her dog. The Creekwood community is still swarming with law enforcement officers after a sheriff's deputy was shot while patrolling the area. This 2-year-old bald eagle was found in a parking lot with lead poisoning, unable to fly. The traffic, there isn't a whole lot on Market Street right now, just a few stray cars and some snowplows, but guys, it's really dangerous conditions out there. The snow's not falling right now, but don't let that fool you. There is snow covering the ground. Despite that, Cheatham says Chief Evangelist is doing a great job managing the department and says crime rates prove it. Now, if you're interested in adopting one of these adorable German Shepherds, all you have to do is contact the Brunswick County Animal Protective Services. It is a sea full of hairnets and high hopes here at Wilmington Christian Academy as students work hard to feed the hungry. We asked the sheriff if we could go inside the jail and see the conditions for ourselves, but he declined for security reasons, saying inmates could throw things at me. We're hearing now from a lot of people around here that there was an explosion of some sorts. Now I'm just going to step out of the way so you guys can take a look.
All we knew we was going, and all at one time the boat just quit. We hit a sandbar, and everybody went backwards and forwards.
Eddie Almond rides the ferry almost every day, but Tuesday his trip turned out much different than ones before.
I was at the back about 2 feet for the bathroom, and I was holding on to the rail, and whenever it locked up, I went back this way and hit the door.
He says people were yelling for help, and some passengers were bleeding. Those who could help rushed to the hurt while they waited for more help to arrive.
Everybody stayed calm and came together and helped out the injured until the Coast Guard got there.
Everybody was just checking on everybody, basically. Everybody was like, are you all right?
Witnesses say injured passengers were evacuated first and taken to the hospital. The remaining ones were evacuated to Deep Point Marina. Commander Center Chief for Sector North Carolina, Lieutenant Lane Monroe, says for future passengers, there is nothing to worry about.
There is really no indication that there's a risk to mariners or risk to passengers that's above normal.
And Almond says this crash will not keep him from riding the ferry.
No, not really.
Okay, good dog, good boy, good.
While deployed in Afghanistan, U.S. Marine David Nilsson trained dogs to detect IEDs. Over time, he developed a close relationship with a black lab named Sunny.
Me and Sonny's bond, I mean, it was awesome. I think with first time I met him to the last time I saw him before I left Afghanistan, it was just something I felt was pretty cool.
After 4 months, Nilsson returned home from duty, but he did not forget about his best friend overseas. Nilsson learned Sonny would soon retire, so instead of having him put up for adoption, he decided to keep him as his family dog. Nilsson filled out the necessary paperwork and hoped for the best.
My chances were slim to none. Luckily, two and a half weeks ago, I got the call, I got the email saying, hey, I get congratulations, we're gonna get to fill some paperwork out here and there, and he'll be yours to pick up whenever.
Now the two, along with Nilsson's 4-year-old son, live happily in Ogden.
Ready? Okay. Heel. Sit. Stay.
And Nilsson says Sonny has already confirmed there are no IEDs in his backyard.
He walked around, and I didn't have to really give him any commands. I just needed here too, and walked around and perimeter check, and and he's always searching, nose to the ground, and looking for anything and everything.
And even though Sonny is 8 years old, Nilsson says it's still puppy love.
I do love the boy, and I think hopefully he loves me.
In New Hanover County, Alyssa Rosenberg, WWAY News Channel 3. 18-year-old Rayshawn Hines is no stranger to the law. After spending a little over a year at the Dobbs Youth Development Center for robbery and other charges, Hines was released. But last month, he once again found himself behind bars, this time for a probation violation that he says is bogus.
They locked me up for a bogus charge for a probation violation. I goes to court, I beat it.
He says his probation officer was changed without his knowledge. So when he missed a meeting with his new probation officer, he was arrested. But he was released from jail after a judge ruled Hines did not violate his probation. Just days later, Chief Evangelist said this about his release.
The visiting judge dropped the ball and released one of our worst offenders back out on the street.
Evangelist also said now that Hines is out of jail, shootings have started up again.
They let me go, they get on TV saying I'm the worst criminal. On the day I got out was a shooting, I was in here in the bed.
Hines says it was impossible for him to have been involved in the recent shooting because he was with his family at the time, and he says he doesn't even own a gun.
The things that they said I'm doing, I have nothing to do with.
Hines says at one point he was involved in a gang, but now he says he's turned his act around. And his mother says she wants police to stop harassing them.
You're making it look like my child killed somebody or he's in a mob, mafia or something. He's just doing this type of terror stuff. That aggravates me because that's my child for one. Yes, you're talking about.
Happy Sunday, friends, and thanks for joining us tonight for your news at 6. I'm Brandon Taylor.
And I'm Alyssa Rosenberg. The Brunswick County Sheriff's Office says around 2 this afternoon, a helicopter spotted a body floating in the Shallotte River. The results are in. According to the testing done by the Waterkeeper Alliance, there are at least 5 different metals going into the river. It's not permitted or allowed, but it's happening all the time. It's first as we cover the Carolinas. A man wanted along with 2 of his brothers for allegedly trying to kill a man last month has turned himself in. The officer who shot Thomas is on administrative leave. We haven't been able to get any further comments from the agencies involved. You know, I gotta tell you, I've lived here for about 5 years, and today I tried my first Brits donut, and let me tell you, the hype is real. They are very good. Bad for your stomach, maybe, bad for the thighs, but delicious nonetheless. Yeah. I told you I wanted some warmer weather last week when it was so cold, and now I think you're finally listening to me, so I appreciate that.
Put your order in and we deliver.
I did.
If it were only that simple.
I know.
Jerry, thank you.